Hours after Russia began pounding targets near the Syrian city of Homs on Wednesday, criticism of President Obama's policy in Syria was swift and fierce.
This administration has confused our friends, encouraged our enemies, mistaken an excess of caution for prudence, and replaced the risks of action with the perils of inaction. Into the wreckage of this administration's Middle East policy has now stepped Vladimir Putin.
On Thursday, as Russia showed no signs of stopping airstrikes that U.S. officials say were intended to hit the U.S.-backed Syrian moderate opposition, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest fielded repeated questions on whether Russia's military intervention in Syria would prompt a change in U.S. strategy. The short answer, no.
The president has worked aggressively to safeguard our interests in that way without making the kind of commitment that draws the United States into another land war in the Middle East.
The White House spokesman reiterated that putting American boots on the ground does not serve U.S. interests, while repeatedly redirecting his remarks back toward Russia. Earnest warned Moscow could pay a high price for being drawn into the Syrian conflict by fueling more extremism both in the region and in Russia.
These grave consequences for Russia are more dangerous than any diplomatic response that could be imposed on Russia by the international community.
The Atlantic Council's Jessica Ashew says Russian intervention in Syria does not fundamentally change the dynamics of the Syrian conflict, noting Moscow's reluctance to commit ground troops.
So the best that they can do is to protect the Assad regime indefinitely. They'd probably be able to do that, but then they're stuck in Syria. There's no end game and there's no exit. And pretty soon, they're going to start facing a lot of the same questions that the United States has been facing.
For other countries in the region, the question is what to do now. When asked who would conduct a military operation to oust Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Saudi Foreign Minister Adel al-Jubeir told a reporter outside the United Nations, quote, "We will see." Aru Pande, VOA News, Washington.